So here the cards are asking us a question. This is where we're gonna begin our inquiry today. The question is going to be composed of one tarot card and one word card, which contains a Hungarian word, which you can, if you want, you can try and guess in the comments what it means. Unless you know Hungarian and know what it means, then it's not that much fun. So one word and one card is going to propose a question. Before we dive in, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, leave comments, and if you're interested in receiving a personal tarot reading, please visit my website. Let's see what the question is. First we have the Five of Cups, disappointment, and we have the word szeretetesség. Oh my god. Okay. So what do you think this means? Write down your guesses in the comments. It's always interesting to see some people get their guesses right, and some people are way off, but listen to what it sounds like and try to guess what it means. Szeretetesség. Szeretetesség. I'm going to reveal what it means in a bit. It's kind of hard to translate because I don't know if there's an English word for this, but it literally means love, hunger. It means that you're deprived of love and you're hungry for it. Almost as though there was a homeostatic need for this very special type of food, which is love. And you can get into such a state where you haven't got enough of it, and then you're craving it. And you want to get it. So there's a neediness in there. And it's quite poignant that we have the Five of Cups to go along with this card. So what could be, which is disappointment, and it means loss, and it means sadness and disappointment. So it's quite fitting. So what could be the question that is being proposed here? Let me think. The question is, what could diminish your hunger for love? I think we've all been there, where we felt deprived and like love was scarce, like it was a limited resource, which we had to fight over, which is not a good feeling. And so what is a good way to diminish your hunger for love? Because obviously one of the standard esoteric or new age answers to this question is that first and foremost, one needs to love themselves. And I'm a bit skeptical of this, although I don't obviously deny the importance of self-love. But if self-love was all there was to it, then why would we need other people at all? Why is there so many of us? Why this one God entity had fragmented itself into these tiny pieces of fractal consciousness units, which we are, or which we experience ourselves to be? Why, if all it takes is to love oneself? And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm misguided here. But from a scientific point of view, there's been studies where they experimented with rhesus monkeys who've been put under conditions of deprivation from their caregivers, from their mothers. They've been separated from them for a lengthy period of time, and they didn't receive the care, the touch, the physical contact, the warmth of the mother animal, and they didn't receive that sort of maternal embrace and guidance throughout their early developmental phase. And so they would look at the behavior of these monkeys when they grew up, and they found that they have been damaged severely. Their behavior was off. They weren't able to take care of their own children. They were aggressive, and they just couldn't socialize so well. So obviously there's something to this idea that love is an important component of our functioning. The experiment was obviously run with animals, but we know that we are a continuation and even a part of the animal kingdom. So we're not exempt from these kinds of influences. So if you were deprived of love in your childhood, then you're going to have physiological problems even. So your immune system might not function properly. You will be more vulnerable to illness. You will have difficulty with cognition. You may have memory problems. You may have lower intelligence. There can be all kinds of issues which arise from this seemingly non-physical aspect, this type of food, if you will, which is food for the mind or food for the soul. So hunger for love, how can we deal with this? What's the best way to deal with your hunger for love? We all are hungry for love every now and then, but some people are more chronically in need of it and deprived of it. So let's see. So what is a good way to feed our hungry hearts? And here's the Six of Swords, which is called science in this deck. So the Six of Swords is a level-headed, analytical, reasonable approach. It proposes a very different kind of disposition than the Five of Cups, which is, the Five of Cups is a state of panic and disorientation and emotional confusion and fragility, whereas the Six of Swords has this silent and methodical approach, where the Six of Swords, belonging to the sword suit, belonging to that suit of analytical thinking, makes an effort to look at the facts of the situation impartially, if that's possible, to gather data, to build a model, to make predictions, to identify the problem as clearly and as comprehensively as possible. So with the Six of Swords, we have mind over the softer emotive parts of ourselves. And sometimes that is not only necessary, but it's a means of survival. So the Six of Swords is identifying the issue very clearly and determining an alternative path, looking to the distant future, or looking to the distance, and saying, where I am now is suboptimal and I want to be somewhere else. So now let's make a plan. Let's sit down and think it through. Let's go through the details and figure out a way, a very kind of rational and easy to follow plan, which is going to take me closer to where I want to be and remove me from the situation where I am. So, in the throes of emotional pain and adversity, which affects you negatively, in a state where you feel that love hunger taking over and completely possessing you, almost as though it was real physical hunger, where if you haven't eaten for an extended period of time, you would understandably be aggravated. So in that same sense, you find yourself in a situation of discomfort, and your first instinct is to fall apart. But the Six of Swords is saying, take the time to explore and understand your environment, where you are. There are ways to find what you're looking for. What you're looking for is a legitimate thing, but it cannot be accessed when you are stuck in this belief and in the state of panic. So the Six of Swords is saying, now is the time to make an inventory of all the factors of your situation and see what it is that you need to do first to make steps towards a different way of being, a different reality where love is not something that you need to hunt down. It's not something that you need to beg for. It's not something that is administered in small incremental doses when there's no scarcity of love. It's possible for you to govern the ship of your life, to get to that position, but it takes this kind of careful, level-headed planning to make it so. And there's empirical evidence as to what works in these situations. So here I would like to, again, as very often, propagate the idea that going through therapy and receiving help from mental health care professionals, doctors, people who are well equipped to understand the objective components of your situation. It is absolutely not a shameful thing to ask for help from them. It's also not going to ruin the spiritual aspect of your journey. It's actually going to help you to navigate yourself to a point in your life where a lot of the spiritual development that may not be accessible right now becomes available. So these two methods, they can work together So you need a plan. Your hunger is valid, and it's possible to quell this pain, but it takes a different approach. It takes a very matter of fact approach. So I hope that you enjoy this reading. Thank you for watching. Leave comments, like this video. If you're interested, check out my website, book a reading with me. See you next time. Bye bye.